So we'll get ready to go back green flag racing here at Dover, working our first caution of the day. 4 drivers officially stayed out. Joshua Michaels, James Qualls, Chris Dodd, and Brandon Gonzalez. They'll restart 1st through 4th. First car that pitted and came off pit road, John Arndt, will restart 5th, and it's Marty Johnson. Keith Batson, Daniel Boyles, Charles Sanford, and Kyle Keith. JT Bryant is 1 lap down now. After an extended stay on pit road, Trent Dunham took his Sega Chevrolet to the garage. So an early day for him. And we're getting ready to go back green. Levi McIntyre, after the contact we saw between him and Trent Dunham, I don't know if they took any time to work on the rear of that car or not. He'll restart 14th. We'll see if he's up to speed. Green flag back out here at Dover. Joshua Michaels gonna get go. Oh, whoa, what's going on with the 08? 08 did not get going, and he's holding everybody up. Brandon Gonzalez also holding some people up there. That was interesting. I don't know. I thought maybe they ran out of fuel, but no, they're still up to speed. Or, well, not up to speed, but they're still running. I don't know what that's all about. And they are almost 3 wide further back. They are 3 wide. Holy cow. Sean Galligan, Levi McIntyre, Jake Baskinger, they're leaning on each other. This is not a good situation. Anthony McCurry on the apron, trying to save it, and he does. Right in front of Aaron Henderson. Thank heavens Henderson decided to back out of that. McCurry apparently not realizing the apron is not a racing lane here at Dover. They're going to go 3 wide again. This time Johnny Gardner on the high side of Kyle Matthews and Michael Norman. Oh boy. Apparently it's go time here. We settled into a nice green flag run earlier. But now everything's seeming to break loose. And we got some drivers on pit road. Leon Alvarez and Levi McIntyre. Now I don't know what this is about. Unless they're short pitting and expecting this thing to go into a long green flag run. Cole Baker also just made a pit stop. James Qualls right now is the leader. Michaels has slipped back to 2nd. Here's John Arndt. Now he was the first of the cars to pit under caution. And he's up to the 3rd position. Caution flag is out now, and this is going to really hurt those drivers who just pitted, like Alvarez, Baker, and McIntyre. That's the last thing they wanted to see. I think they were hoping this thing was going to go green to the end. That might have been what their strategy was, but oh boy, this is going to trap them a lap down more than likely. And John Cittadino has got damage. The smoke is lingering in turn 1. There's actually some smoke there on the front straightaway, too. Did somebody else just spin? Might have been the pole sitter. Zach Rogers has got damage, along with Zach Flickinger. Zachary Fitzwater and Michael Norman have also got left side damage on their machines. Jessica Shelton has got a lot of damage. There she is. Oh boy. Well, chaos is beginning to ensue here at Dover. Did we expect anything less? I don't think so. Charles Sanford stays out, so he's now the new race leader over Baskinger and Anthony McCurry. Let's take a look and see what happened. I think we had 2 wrecks on 2 different laps to bring out our 2nd caution of the day at the Monster Mile. Well, we were looking at the back of the field before. Maybe we should have stayed with our cameras back here because that's where this happened, right here. John Cittadino and Zachary Fitzwater. Boy, I'm not really sure what went on there. And then Fitzwater shoots right back up the racetrack. He's going to collect Srigley and Rogers. Cittadino slides up and collects Flickinger. Nice evasive maneuver there by Kyle Matthews in that middle line to avoid. So that's where those guys got their damage from. And then if we jump up to Jessica Shelton, who I believe was actually in the 5th position at the time. Let's see what happens here with her. Might be her and Michael Norman that get together. I don't know. Oh no, she just drifts up the racetrack on Carson Scott. Car got wicked loose on her, and Carson actually gets the wall. And then Shelton down across the nose of Levi McIntyre. And oh my goodness, that's a hard lick there for both those drivers. Norman maybe taking the biggest hit out of that one. So his chances of repeating his win here at Dover might have just taken a pretty hard lick. And Shelton there as well. And yeah, I am correct. Shelton crossed the line in 18th. But she picked up her spot again and then has cycled around to 5th place. I don't know if they're going to come to pit road or not, but she did stay out that last time there. I don't know if that's such a great idea to be staying out with all that damage, but that was not what brought the caution out. That was after the caution came out. We showed you what happened with the caution with Fitzwater and Cittadino, but looks like it's getting to the point now where these drivers are not going to give each other room. And room is very limited here at Dover. So JT Bryant is on the tail end of the lead lap with that caution flag, with the fact that the leaders ahead of him pitted, but Sanford, who was behind JT when the caution came out, did not. There you got drivers that are going to be off the lead lap. Leon Alvarez, Levi McIntyre, and Cole Baker. They all came to pit road under that green flag. And so they are trapped a lap down along with John Cittadino in the 83, who was on pit road to repair damage. Trent Dunham still the only driver out of the race. Leon Alvarez and Cole Baker are both 3 laps down. Cittadino and McIntyre are 1 lap down. Everybody else continues on. Sanford will restart as the leader. Baskinger second. McCurry third. Carson Scott and Jessica Shelton, who got together there, they're 4th and 5th. Michael Norman 6th. Now we know that Shelton and Norman took some pretty hard licks there. I don't know if they're going to be up to speed or not. And there's Nathan Hudson, Benjamin Miles, Dylan Young, and Ryan Madden. That's your top 10 for this restart, which will take place on lap 24 of 60. Green flag back out. We'll have to see if the 02, the 3, the 38, if they're up to speed. Looks like they might be, as Leon Alvarez is trying to battle to get back on the tail end of the lead lap. Well, actually, no, he's trying to get a lap back. That would put him 2 laps down. Now Michael Norman, or make that Levi McIntyre. Boy, I'm having trouble with names right now, aren't I? Levi McIntyre trying to get his lap back from Sanford. JT Bryant, now he'll get trapped a lap down again as Sanford uses the outside line, and he'll swing around and all but clear himself of lap machines. Got Leon Alvarez up ahead, but Alvarez, I believe, is up to speed. McCurry right now scored in second. He finds himself boxed in. Now got to get around JT Bryant in the 22. And Jessica Shelton, all that damage, and she still is up to speed right now, apparently. So I was kind of questioning the call of her and Michael Norman staying out, but they are at least hanging up here in the top 10. McCurry now works his way by JT Bryant. And now he'll try and reel in Charles Sanford, who's kind of checked out right now. He's not really put up much of a fight against Leon Alvarez here to try and put him down a lap down to 3. And there's a couple drivers on pit road again. This time it's Carson Scott, Zachary Fitzwater, and I can't tell who that is just up ahead. A couple of drivers. That was, I believe, the Zach Flickinger machine. And somebody else just hit pit road, or just left. Oh, it's Joseph Srigley. Sean Galligan's in. Well, Dover is usually a fuel strategy race. I wasn't sure with the cautions we've been having if it was going to be a fuel strategy race, though, but maybe it is. Sanford the leader. McCurry has now lost touch with not only Sanford, but also Cole Baker got around him. And Jessica Shelton, that car is not very pretty to look at right now, but it's in the 3rd position. Nathan Hudson now moving into 4th. He just took that spot away from Michael Norman. Baskinger there in 5th, and Benjamin Miles went to victory lane at Bristol Dirt looking for his 2nd win of the season. This battle going on here is for 8th place. Voiles, Richardson, Dylan Young, James Qualls. With possible green flag pit stops coming into play as they're trying to work their way around Carson Scott. I gotta wonder with the 38 if maybe he came to pit road to repair damage. Oh yeah, he got the wall again. That might be why he came to pit lane. Meanwhile, Sanford has cleared Leon Alvarez now. So now he's got 1, 2, 3 cars between himself and McCurry. McCurry better look in his rearview mirror because Jessica Shelton starting to reel him in for the runner-up spot. There is a lap machine of Sean Galligan between him and Shelton. But Shelton's not that far back. And if Sean Galligan, who I believe is now on fresher tires than McCurry, can get to McCurry's inside, that opens the door up for Shelton to maybe make a move for second place. Zachary Fitzwater just crossed the line. Sanford's coming out of turn 4, so Sanford won't have to really deal with lap traffic too much in the next couple of laps. Well, maybe not in front of him, but behind him, Cole Baker is trying to get back, I believe, on the lead lap. I believe Baker's only 1 lap down. And no, he's 3 laps down, actually. Trying to get one of those laps back from Charles Sanford. Charles Sanford trying to set an unprecedented mark this season to become a 3-time winner in the Hersheys Cup Series. Only 2 other drivers have managed, or make that 3 other drivers have managed to do that in their career. Joshua Circuli, Mason Powers, and Jake Baskinger all last season. No, actually, I think Baskinger was only a 2-time winner. I think it was Mason Powers and Circuli were the 3-time winners, actually. Well, I thought maybe Shelton might challenge for second. Here comes Richardson. He's going to challenge for third. James Richardson, who started on the pole last week at Pocono, had a decent run there too. Now in the top 5 here at Dover. Trying to reel in Shelton. Got a nice run through the middle of the corner there. I think he's going to be able to make the move coming down the front straightaway into 1. Here he comes. Bringing James Qualls along with him, and Joshua Circuli. We just talked about the 47. Being a 3-time winner last season. Well, trying to work into the top 30 in points here this season after a win at Martinsville, and right now, having his best run in the last few weeks, right now in 6th. Oh, Richardson is flying. Here he comes now, about to try and take a spot away from Anthony McCurry to move himself up to 2nd. And here he comes. So now's the question, if this thing goes green to the end, does Richardson have anything for Charles Sanford? He's going to have to get by Srigley, Alvarez, and Baker before he can start concentrating on battling for the lead and the win with Charles Sanford. Mentioned last week, James Richardson is a former winner in the Hersheys Cup Series. End up going to victory lane at Charlotte, a track we'll be heading to in a couple of weeks. End up winning back in Season 1. Another driver I noticed has popped his way up here into the top 10 is, look at this battle, almost 3 wide. That's for third between Qualls, McCurry, and Circuli. But how about Dylan Poteet? Right now scored in the 7th position, the Crosley Chevrolet out of Tweenix Racing. Great run for him. The recently retired Snickers Cup Series. Dylan Poteet was actually a winner at this track in that series. It was in Season 9 of Snickers Cup, if memory serves me correctly. And you gotta be impressed with Jessica Shelton and Michael Norman. Both those cars badly damaged. Shelton hanging tough in 6th place. Michael Norman still running in the top 10 in 10th. Very impressive that those 2 drivers, as I said, I questioned them staying out. Thought it was not a wise decision, but they're proving me wrong. Richardson is now about to close in on Joseph Srigley and Leon Alvarez. And the race leader, Charles Sanford, is not too far ahead. Richardson's been slowly closing the gap. He's closed that time up by 0.8. As I think Sanford was dealing with Cole Baker, who has now gotten one of his laps back. He's now 2 laps down, is the 18 car. And here comes Richardson. He got by Srigley. He's getting by Alvarez. And now sets his sights on Charles Sanford. That 11 team, they've been really good the past couple of weeks. They're getting close to breaking the top 10 in points, but Richardson wants more. He wants a trip to victory lane. And Joe Gibbs Racing has yet to go to victory lane this season. Cody Lamas, Marty Johnson, they haven't been able to find victory lane yet. Holden Gluba's been having a difficult time even making races. Now look at this, nose to tail, the battle for the lead is on. Sanford going to use Zachary Fitzwater as a pick here. Hold off Richardson at least for now. Grayson Acavito just up ahead as well in the 66. Oh, Richardson's all over the back bumper. He might try the bump and run. And nope, doesn't even bother. He's going to dive it to the inside, and he's going to take the lead away from Charles Sanford, at least for now. James Qualls and Joshua Circula, they could get in this battle if these guys continue to race. Qualls just now working by Joseph Srigley, and Richardson now will find Sanford boxed in, and he will easily take the lead away. We got less than 20 to go here at Dover. Sanford loses the lead, but that may not be all he loses. Here comes James Qualls, Joshua Circuli, third and fourth place now, trying to reel in Sanford for position. And Richardson's not out of the woods yet either. He's got some drivers on the tail end of the lead lap just ahead of him. Chris Dodd in the 08. Cole Baker's still there, keeping just ahead of the leader, but got Tim Walsh up ahead. Dallas McIntosh in the 16. Looked like that was the 6th car of Aaron Henderson, the 24 of John Arndt. Sanford hanging on to second, but Qualls and Circula are right on his back bumper. This battling going on about a little over 2 seconds behind the new race leader, James Richardson. They're having a little bit of difficulty getting around Zachary Fitzwater's Dodge. And it looks like now they will do so. Fitzwater right now scored 41st place. By the way, that's the points leader coming into today's race. Richardson is going to work, and going to work quickly. He just put John Arndt, Tim Walsh, Aaron Henderson, Dallas McIntosh down a lap, and he did it relatively easy. Now he'll go to work on William Brock as he's following in the tire tracks of Cole Baker. John Cittadino just ahead as well. Brock scored in 25th. Cittadino and Cole Baker are both off the lead lap. So right now, 24 cars on the lead lap. First car lap down would be the 15 of William Brock. Just up ahead, Kyle Matthews. He's 24th. Ryan Madden 23rd. There's Kyle Keith, about a straightaway ahead in 22nd. James Richardson trying to get as much lap traffic between himself and the new second place car of James Qualls as he possibly can. And right now he is succeeding. Qualls still having difficulty with lap traffic. He's now caught behind Aaron Henderson. Lap traffic not playing nice for second on back. James Richardson having no difficulty with him though, although to be fair, Richardson's actually forcing his way to the inside. Qualls seems to be a little bit more patient with the lap traffic, but he really can't do that because James Richardson's about to get to 10 to go. It's 11 to go when he hits the stripe this time, 10 to go next time around. He just put Kyle Keith down a lap. Keith running in 22nd place. Of course, Kyle Keith making this race. He's a non-chartered car. Won last week at Pocono. Needs to get into the top 30 in points. I don't think a 22nd place finish is really going to help his chances. Let's take a look and see as Richardson starts to close in on more traffic. Pole sitter Zach Rogers just ahead along with Johnny Gardner. Let's see who's got the fastest lap on track. Well, Richardson's a close second. Look at that, Joe Gibbs Racing. Top 3 fastest speeds in this race. Marty Johnson, 25.7. Richardson, 25.8. And Cody Lamas, 25.9. Think the Toyotas are fast today? So Richardson, obviously out in front. Let's see where his two teammates are currently situated. Cody Lamas and Marty Johnson. And not in the top 10. Oh, Tim Walsh just blew up. He's coming to pit road. There's Cody. He scored 14th. Marty Johnson right now scored in 16th. But Tim Walsh, the engine expiring on his Kellogg Chevrolet. That team's really been struggling this year, and they fell a lap down. Now the engine expires. As James Richardson will now put Johnny Gardner, 19th place, a lap down. Now going to work on 18th place Keith Batson. He has a 6+ second lead over James Qualls. He's got at least 6 lap cars between himself and James Qualls. Barring any mechanical problems or a late race caution, James Richardson is home free and en route to picking up his 2nd win of his Hersheys Cup Series career, first of season 2, as he'll now work to the inside on Benjamin Miles, 17th place. 16 cars now on the lead lap. Manuel Hartnett's moved his way up into the top 10 now in 7th. McCrory's dropped to 6th, Poteet up to 5th. Here's Baskinger and Marty Johnson, 15th, 16th place. They may fall down a lap to James Richardson, and it's kind of almost becoming a game in my head of how many cars are going to finish on the lead lap when this race is over. Because Richardson's getting up close to the top 10. 5 laps to go. Looks like Richardson's trying to help push his teammate Marty Johnson by Jake Baskinger. Marty Johnson, though, I think he gets a little tight there in the middle of the corner on that inside line, and that just kind of held up the momentum. Richardson's, okay, I helped you the best I could. He'll go 3 wide with his teammate. And that actually helped Marty Johnson get the position away from Jake Baskinger. So move Marty Johnson up to 15th. Another teammate up ahead for Richardson. The 78 of Cody Lamas, right now scored in 14th place. And Qualls actually closed up the gap that time between himself and Richardson, but there's just so much lap traffic, I don't see how without a caution flag James Qualls is going to even have a ghost of a shot at being able to catch up to Richardson. And Richardson, I think, is taking it easy, too. His lap times have fallen off almost by a full second and a half than he was running moments ago, so I think he's just minding his P's and Q's and being careful through this lap traffic. He just put Cody Lamas, his teammate, down a lap, so now 13 cars are running on the lead lap. Working by JT Bryant. Levi McIntyre just ahead. Oh, and a couple drivers just hit pit road. I think that was Shelton and Norman. Yes, it was. Jessica Shelton and Michael Norman coming to pit road, so the question of fuel could be an issue now. Does Richardson have enough fuel to make it around 1.5 more circuits? He's going to risk it. Why not? You've got over a 4-second lead between yourself and James Qualls, a lot of lap traffic. Richardson's going to go for it. As you saw, the white flag was displayed over the hood of the FedEx Toyota Camry. Joe Gibbs Racing's been close on a couple of occasions of getting a checkered flag. Marty Johnson finished second last week. Cody Lamas has 2 second-place finishes this season. But it'll be James Richardson who will close the deal for the Toyota team. His first win of season 2, second of his career. He'll take the checkered flag at Dover. There's James Qualls. He'll finish second. Third place, here comes Joshua Circuli. Sanford is going to get 4th. And 5th place is going to be Dylan Poteet in the 31. Hartnett will get 6th, Voiles 7th, Gonzalez 8th, and Michaels the last car on the lead lap in 9th. Cody Lamas picked up 4 spots with drivers having to pit there in the closing stages to finish in 10th. Oh, and Nathan Hudson just hit the wall, and he's going to get flipped over by Marty Johnson, and oh boy. Yeah, that just happened. Where'd Richardson go? Did Richardson already? I think Richardson already went to victory lane, as they're all dying on the pit lane entrance. Well then. Yeah, Richardson already went to victory lane. He was so far ahead. So James Richardson will pick up the win here, and we'll have to see if this puts Richardson in a position to get into the chase for the championship. It's a chartered ride, so I wouldn't see why he wouldn't be. And he's running very well in the point standings too, so he finally closes the deal. He had the pole last week at Pocono. He gets the win here this week at Dover. James Qualls will get second. Joshua Circuli, this is his best finish in a long, long time. I think he's had 3 straight DNFs at Dega, Kansas, and Pocono, and now he'll finally get a top 5 run, trying to get himself into the top 30 in points for his chartered account. Charles Sanford there in 4th. Dylan Pote, I think that's his best finish of the season, in 5th. Manuel Hartnett gets 6th. Daniel Voyle 7th. Brandon Gonzalez, I think he'll take the points lead back now as he gets 6th. 7th place, or as he gets 8th rather. Joshua Michaels gets 9th. He was the last car to finish on the lead lap. Then drivers finishing a lap down, you got Cody Lamas, Marty Johnson. They were running in 14th and 15th before the 5 to go point, and they finished in 10th and 11th, which means that some drivers did have to pit in the closing stages, and I believe those cars would have been Jessica Shelton, Michael Norman. Not really certain who the other 2 would have been. Let's see if we can find out. They would have probably been maybe Sean Galligan, not certain. Anthony McCrory, 27th, so he was obviously one of them. And I'm not certain who the other one would have necessarily been. Maybe Nathan Hudson, not really certain. But regardless, only 9 cars finished on the lead lap. We only had 1 caution flag come out in this race. And only 2 drivers retired from the race, one due to the accident, Trent Dunham, and another driver mechanical issue, a camshaft for Tim Walsh. Zachary Fitzwater came as the points leader, finished the race 5 laps down in 40th place. Well, Dover's definitely going to be a point shaker. There's no doubt about that. We're going to have another new points leader. Brandon Gonzalez will take the points lead back. It'll be interesting to see what the top 10 in points look like, too, because the top 10 in points coming to this race. Fitzwater, bad run. Gonzalez, good run. Kyle Matthews, fairly good run. Levi McIntyre, poor run. Grayson Acavito, poor run. Cody Lamas, somewhat good run. Jessica Shelton, poor run. Leon Alvarez, poor run. JT Bryant, poor run. And Emmanuel Hartnett, good run. So, there you go. 2 different sides of the spectrum for the drivers came in top 10 in the point standings. So, it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be in the top 10 in points after this race. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in to today's race from Dover. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We'll show you full finish results down through 42nd once again. Next week, we go racing at Richmond. That's going to be an interesting race before we end up packing it up heading to the World Center of Racing, Charlotte Motor Speedway for All-Star Racing, and then, of course, the longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600. So, James Richardson puts his name in the hat for a spot in this season's chase for the championship. Picks up Joe Gibbs Racing's first win of the season after that team had 3 collective second-place finishes, even as recent as last week at Pocono. Richardson will also take part in the All-Star race. This win locks him into that. So, we'll see you guys next week at Richmond. Here come your full finishing results once again, as well as your rookie points and your overall points heading into next week, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. So long from Dover.